Let me have the parties identified.
Julie Panger with the department, also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Letitia Doggett.
St. Francis Supervisor Corinda Slay.
Okay, Ms. Doggett, tell me about Patrick.
Patrick is doing great. He just got accepted to Tech. We are still trying to get him as a walk-on for the football team. So I'm hoping he's the next Patrick Mahomes. He said, as soon as they see me in the weight room, it's all over. So I'm hoping that's true. He's doing great. He's ready to get out of high school. He's living in he does his own, prepares his own meals. He's doing well.
Okay, I'm assuming he's healthy if he's doing well in football and
He
tearing
is
it up in the weight room.
He is a healthy little guy. Yes, I'm seeing him today at 3.
Okay, and he is in high school right now, dual credit classes, and he's
Yes.
supposed to graduate in May.
Yes, that's correct. And he's on target. He's making A's and B's. He's the perfect child.
Okay, and he did PAL.
He did do PAL. In fact, he just went this last weekend. He went to Austin as a representative for us to the youth convention. I'm not really sure what it is, but it's some kind of convention. And they don't get to do that if they're not.
Right, PAL conference. It's a lot of
Yes.
fun.
Yes. So I have no concerns with him. He's my poster child.
Good. What's his plan as far as a major? Do we know?
He says he wants to go into computers, something in that line.
Okay.
But that could change. I'm hoping he wants to play pro football is what his true goal. He says he wants to be rich and play football.
Sounds good to me.
Me too.
Okay, is he going to live in the dorm in the fall, or is he
No.
going to continue to live in the SIL placement?
He wants to stay in the SEAL. That's why his coach had tried to encourage him to go to maybe a smaller school to play football, but he wants to stay here because of the SEAL program.
I don't know when they're supposed to finish that fancy new facility at Tech, but he might change his mind when he sees all that.
I know. I told him that West Texas has a SEAL, but he likes it here, and he's got his friends, and his girlfriend is here. So
I think I understand now. Okay, very good. Sounds like Patrick is doing much better. I'm very happy about that. Anything else on Patrick?
no,
Okay, we'll set another review hearing for Patrick, July the 10th at 9.
And the Threadgill attorney ad litem.
Okay, tell me about Naomi. Looks like we're in the same foster home we've been in.
Yes, Your Honor. She's doing well. She's doing really good in school. She was student of the month in February. She's passing all of her classes. She did have an oral appointment for dental. She had 10 cavities filled. She's up to date on her medical. She's doing really well. I have talked to the placement about adopting her. They stated that they were going to pray on it and they'll let me know at this month's visit. And if they decide against it, I will be putting her on TARE on the 16th.
Okay, do we have any relatives or friends, anybody that we can look at in case this foster home is not interested?
I have looked into a biological mother's sister. She is not appropriate this time. And I have looked into 2 uncles of Naomi's, which they are not appropriate this time either, Your Honor.
What does Naomi like to do?
Her favorite thing, she tells me, is going to school. She loves hanging out with her friends. She loves playing house and hanging out with her foster siblings. She enjoys cooking spaghetti with her foster mom. She's having a really good time at that home. And I'm hoping I hear good news this month at the visit.
Ms. Threadgill, any concerns with Naomi?
No concerns, Your Honor. She's doing well for the time being.
Right. Okay, we'll have another review
Nancy
hearing for
on
Naomi,
behalf of the
July
child.
the 10th at 9. Okay, Ms. Doggett, tell me about Cherry's journey. It looks like from the report that we've moved around quite a bit. Let's start since the last time we were here. Where was she and where did she go from there?
So I don't remember where she was at the last report. She's kind of been in and out. She immediately went into trial independence when she turned 18. Shortly, probably within 6 weeks to 2 months, she went into a SEAL program at Passages. She didn't stay, but maybe a week. She was just literally living on the streets. She would find somebody to take her in, they would kick her out. I would get calls at 4 a.m. I got a call from some people at a Whataburger that she was she was just literally sinking. She found her biological mother and chose to move to the Midland, Odessa area to be with her biological mother, and that did not work out. Her mother is a very severe alcoholic, and it was just, it wasn't good. She lived with her her grandmother for a short while. That did not work out. Her biological brother stole some money from her. It was bad. She's now living with her boyfriend and her boyfriend's mother, and it seems to be the best place she's been. I've gotten her social security we've gotten that straightened out. I've gotten her on SNAP. She seems okay. We've talked to her about coming back here, that there's a couple of new SEALs here. She doesn't want to come into any kind of care. She says CPS ruined her life. But in all honesty, since she's turned 18, she's doing better right now than she's done since July, when she turned 18.
Okay, is she working?
No, she's not. She does get a disability check. She's low functioning. She talks about wanting to get a job. She talks about applying for jobs. She's not ever done that. She doesn't.
Is she thinking about school at all? Any sort of school options on the table for her?
So I don't know that will ever happen. Cherry has 0 credits, high school credits. School is very, very, very difficult for her. I had enrolled her at Triumph here, and she just cannot get along with folks. And she was kicked out every other day. She just has a hard time. And I don't know what the answer is.
Okay, we talked about her getting a GED. Have we discussed that more?
She doesn't have enough credits to even sit for the GED. She talks a lot about wanting to go to school, and she wants to. Cherry's a good kid. She just has, she needs a positive in her life.
Ms. Murray?
I agree that she's in a good place right now. I spoke with her last week. She seems to be doing a lot better than she has at times throughout this case. I don't know a good answer with regard to school. She definitely struggles. The same thing with work. I think there are concerns, like she struggles with reading and writing. So I think that is going to be a difficult challenge to overcome. But it sounds like, I mean, at least for right now, she's doing a lot better.
Okay, does she have any contact with Desi?
Yes, ma'am. They are allowed visits. They were in person. Those were stopped because Cherry was trying to slide her a phone. She does say inappropriate things to Desi, like CPS can't tell you what to do, blah, blah, blah. So they discontinued those. They have now reinstated visits. They are monitored phone calls.
Okay, good. Okay, anything else on Cherry?
No, ma'am.
The parties identified.
Julie
We'll have
Payman with the
another review here in
department, also
July.
present as St. Francis Permanency Specialist, Anna Gonzalez.
Heather Threadgill, attorney and guardian ad litem for the children.
Okay, Ms. Gonzalez, I know this might take a minute, but tell me about all of the children and where they're placed and who's together and how they're doing.
Okay, Judge. Gabriella, Annabelle, Gabriel, and Robert are placed together in a foster home here in Lubbock, doing really good. Beatrice is placed with Miss Carrie Powell in a foster home here in Lubbock. Dante and Julie are placed in a foster home here in Lubbock with the Clevelands. There have been no placement changes.
Okay. Let's start with Julie and work our way up. How are the kids doing?
Julie's doing good. She's finished teething. She's walking, eating solid foods. She says a lot more words now. when I visited last week, she was able to say yes and no to me and move when she wanted me to carry her. She's doing really good health-wise. She has no medical concerns at the moment. She's on target developmentally. No behaviorals. She doesn't do therapy at the moment, and she gets to visit with her siblings every week, once a week, or when they have events that they can attend for one another.
Okay,
Dante is doing good. He has no medical concerns. He hasn't been hospitalized for a good 3-4 months now. His lungs are really strong right now. Nothing with the pollen or any dust like that. He's doing really good. No medical concerns. He doesn't take any medication at the moment, and he's on track developmentally, doing good at daycare. He's getting a little bit sassy, but he's doing really good. Growing like a weed. He's really tall. He doesn't do therapy either.
I think I read something about a heart defect with him. Is that better?
It's something that they have to keep yearly with the cardiologist. And Miss Cleveland said that their next appointment was coming up, but she had no concerns because nothing had been really bothering him about it.
Okay. The next 3.
Beatrice is doing really good. She's really smart. Miss Powell is thinking about moving her up to kindergarten instead of daycare, so she can, because she's starting to read and recites books to me every time I go see her. She's has no medical concerns at the moment. She doesn't take any medication, only seasonal allergies, and she's on track developmentally. Her therapist, Miss Laura, says that she's doing really good with the talks of adoption with Miss Powell.
Okay, Beatrice is in an adoptive foster home?
Yeah, with Miss Carrie Powell, ma'am.
Okay, and are Dante and Julie also in an adoptive foster home?
Yes, ma'am, with Miss Cleveland.
Okay. And what's the status of those adoptions?
We were just waiting for official termination orders so I could start the HESIC and the redactions. Because we just had the bench trial last week for mom.
And
De novo.
Yeah,
yeah.
the de novo bench trial, yes.
Yes, and Judge, I can jump in and tell you that I've spoken to Deidre on that. We're kind of jointly working on those orders of termination to make sure it's clear for the Court of Appeals how those were held separately-ish. So we're working on that.
Okay. Do we know yet whether or not any parent's going to appeal?
Your Honor, this is the one where you appointed me and the dad filed the appeal, but the 7th said it wasn't a final order because it didn't include grounds for the mother.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd planned on stopping by to talk to you about it. Since I've already Anders it, I didn't know if you wanted to appoint somebody else or honestly how we should handle that, because I've already determined that that is an Anders brief based off the record of the jury trial.
Okay. Yeah, stop by. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Okay. What are we doing to find a permanent placement for the kids who are at Shoal?
The 4 older siblings, I asked all the family relatives in Lubbock if they wanted to be placement. 2 are pending just on placement if they found a home, and then the other one is pending on her getting licensed, so a home study can be done. Family relatives in Crosbyton, I'm having a hard time finding numbers and names, so I'm trying to get a hold of Gabriel's mother here in Lubbock, so she can answer me and give me phone numbers and addresses in Crosbyton, so I can go personally and ask family members if they're willing to take the 4 older siblings as a permanent placement, temporary placement while we find some other family relatives.
Okay, and the report lists medical conditions with Annabelle and Gabriel, but nothing different than what we've had previously. Is that right?
Correct, ma'am. Annabelle has no concerns right now with her heart or her thumb. They haven't been bothering her. And as the surgeon said, it was really dependent on foster parents if they were willing to pay and put up the time afterwards for the surgery.
Okay.
And Robert is doing really good with the cowrie malformation. There's no concerns at the moment. He had been hitting his head a little bit when he was getting bullied at school. But since we had his art recently, I was able to talk with the teachers and just mention that if they could intervene whenever they see that he's being just put in a corner by the other kiddos, if she could intervene a lot sooner so he wouldn't come home scared.
Okay. What do the kiddos like to do? Are they getting to do anything fun where they are?
The 4 older ones recently joined gymnastics, and last week they were trying to show me their cartwheels. Gabriella even tried to do a backflip. I wouldn't let her though, because I wasn't 100% comfortable with her doing it outside in the ground. I didn't want her to hit herself, but they're all very excited about gymnastics. They love it. Gabriella's with Chol. She's been able to come out and go to the art section that they have at Chol, and she's able to go by herself and walk to it. And that's like a big step for her, where she feels like a big girl and responsible, and she loves it. The other ones are following behind. Annabelle, Robert, and Gabriel. They do homework afterward. Whenever I come and visit in the afternoons, they're doing homework with Miss Archibald, and sometimes they try to loop me in to help them. But they're all doing really good. Beatrice is coming out in a play here at the Buddy Holly in June, and she's really excited about that, to share that with her siblings.
Okay.
She's going to be an elf.
Very good. Do we have any academic concerns with any of the children?
Not at the moment, Judge.
Okay, all doing well in school.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Threadgill, concerns with the children? Anything we need to add to that report?
The only other thing I wanted to bring up is regarding Beatrice, her foster mom. When I spoke to her last week, there was an agreement for a goodbye visit with mom after the bench trial last week. And Beatrice's foster mom is very concerned that that's going to set Beatrice back, because she's recently started improving a lot as far as through her therapy. So I just asked her to talk to the therapist about it and have the therapist give their thoughts to Ms. Gonzalez as far as the goodbye visit. But also, as far as Ms. Gonzalez told me, mom hasn't scheduled that goodbye visit yet anyway. So, but I just wanted to bring it up.
I agree. If mom schedules that goodbye visit, I think we need to honor the agreement, but let's make sure a therapist gets involved with how to schedule that, how to structure it, how to do it to make sure that Beatrice doesn't regress or anything.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right, we will have another review hearing on all of these children, both cases. Natalie is July the 10th. Aunt Misty at 9.
Yes, Your Honor, she's been placed there and has been doing well. She is currently, her aunt is working on getting her set up with a therapist. I spoke with her early this morning as she wasn't able to make it. She said they've got it all set up. They're just deciding on whether it's going to be in person or via Zoom. And so she's going to let me know what they decide. She did have a medical appointment set up for Natalie for this Friday. Her last appointment that she had set up was sick and had to cancel. And she has her dentist appointment set up for April 8th, I believe. So she's getting her appointments for the year taken care of. She's doing well in school. Natalie does express that she wants to be homeschooled. And when we first visited that conversation, Misty told me with her work schedule, she wouldn't be able to be at home with Natalie to monitor her doing homeschooling. So we really hadn't looked into it any point after that. Natalie did give me another person and phone number to look into as far as being able to watch her while doing homeschooling. And I told Misty that we really need to sit down and have a conversation, because I don't know what kind of program they're wanting to use. So I'm hoping like she'll be okay. She's going to be okay with finishing the school year, and that we could, visit this conversation and hopefully get, if that's what she wants to do, to get that set up over the summertime, just to make sure everything's set up appropriately and has everything she needs and stuff like that before we give the okay for homeschooling. Natalie enjoys hanging out at home, listening to music, social media. She does have a boyfriend. I have talked to her about appropriate dating, and she does express that she's being careful and does date appropriately. Um, and she's doing well in school. She does have some C's, but mostly A's and B's. And other than that, Natalie's doing well. Her aunt has submitted paperwork to a foster agency in her area, I believe the weekend before this last weekend. So hopefully we can get that situated pretty soon.
So she's working to get licensed?
Yes, ma'am. We had some issues as far as finding one, but the worker down there has helped her find an agency, and she submitted the application and paperwork that they needed not too long ago. I also, from our last hearing, they were needing Natalie's documents. I have provided Natalie and her aunt a birth certificate. I am working on getting her social, but I went ahead and sent the birth certificate to see if placement could try to get her social as well. But it might be a little bit easier than what we have to do to go through the state to get it. So we're just trying to work both ways to see which way's quicker.
Natalie's gonna be 16 soon. Are we gonna set her up in the PAL?
Yes, ma'am. I've talked to her about it. She doesn't seem too interested in it, but I'm still, working that and trying to tell her the benefits of it. So hopefully she'll come around and want to participate in that.
Okay, Natalie's in the 9th grade.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Morganson?
Natalie's doing much better in her aunt's home this time around. And I'm just glad that she's happy and that she's in a stable placement. I think this is the longest placement that we've had her in since she's been in care. A lot of the school issues come from bullying and her just not fitting in. So I'd hope those issues were going to resolve themselves, but I just don't think that they are. And I'm glad to see that the foster home's going to get, or the aunt's going to get licensed, because they really could use the financial support that they would be entitled to if they were able to get their license. Natalie's in the 10th.
Okay, Casa?
Judge, we echo Miss Morganson. She's doing really well, stable. She's been back with her aunt for almost about a year now. I think she's made some progress. We still continue to see some of the same issues school-wise. We did have 2 staff members from our office go visit Natalie in person in mid-January. That visit went really well. She was surprisingly very talkative with them. Natalie's normally not talkative with a lot of people, but she talked about her dogs. I believe she had a puppy, but then realized that the puppy was going to require a lot more care and time than she could give the puppy. So she did give it to a family member, but she said she's able to have play dates with the puppy, so she still gets to see it. Overall, we would just really like to see some permanency for Natalie.
I don't necessarily have a problem with the homeschooling. I think that would be fine, but the only thing I would be worried about that is Natalie's love for sports and football and track, and that's been a consistent theme since Natalie's been in care. So if we're gonna do homeschooling, I would hope that there are programs in the area where homeschool students get together and do athletic events and other sorts of activities together, because that's something I think she really enjoys. So I think we need to add that into the conversation when we're talking about homeschooling this summer or now.
Yes, ma'am, I'll do that.
Are there any other school options in the area, charter schools or online schooling, any other options?
No, Brady's too small. McCullough County's too small. The Misty was looking at a homeschooling program out of Houston that I had found, and that actually a lady's daughter that I work with runs the math program. It's kind of an honors type thing, but it's just too small. Sorry, the aunt is texting me and I'm trying to look down to make sure I'm saying all the right things.
Okay. Okay, sounds like we're taking good care of Natalie. I'm happy she is in a stable placement. This is good. Okay, anything else?
Jennifer Garlett, supervisor.
Okay, we'll have another review hearing July the 10th.
Rachel Weldy, attorney ad litem for the child, present and ready.
Okay, tell me about Joshua. We usually have the aunt present with us on these Zoom hearings, but I don't see her. So tell me about Joshua. Still with Aunt Jennifer?
Yes, ma'am. He's with Jennifer here in Lubbock. He's 2 years old. He's very energetic and playful. He likes to play with cars. He likes to play with balls. He likes to be outside, and he likes to play with his friends at daycare. He attends Creative Learning Center, and he's developmentally on track with other kids his age. He's up to date on his medical and his dental. He doesn't take any medications. He's not on any therapies. He sleeps well. He eats well. He's doing good.
Tell me the status of the adoption.
We have an adoption date set for March 29th.
Ms. Dickerson? Is this one of Ms. Dickerson's in front of me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I think she wrote to me about that. Ms. Weldy, concerns about Joshua?
Your Honor, I've been made aware of no concerns with him. As far as I know, he's doing great.
Okay, look forward to an adoption with Joshua soon. But if we need it for any reason, the next review hearing will be July the 10th at 9. Okay, Naya's placed with her sister.
Yes, ma'am. She's doing very well. I actually was able to see her on Friday. She loves watching Toy Story. The past 3 times I've seen her, she's been watching Toy Story. She's learning how to say little comments that they make in the movie. She's learning how to talk more. She also likes watching Barney in the mornings, but only in the morning. She loves eating grapes. Her caregivers told me if they would let her, she would eat an entire thing of grapes by herself in one sitting. Thankfully, they don't allow that. Every time I go over, she's like, I want grapes. So she's eating well. She's, like I said, she's learning how to talk more. She's repeating everything she hears. She's still in daycare and she's doing very well there. She knows her colors, starting to say her alphabet. She can look at a book, and if she's been read that book, she can say what's being said in the book. She's not in any ECI services at this time. She's developmentally on target. There's been no sicknesses or illnesses since the last hearing.
Okay, and this sister she's with is planning to adopt Naya?
Yes, ma'am. I actually turned in the subsidy packet last week, so we're just waiting on negotiations to be held.
Everything else is done, though. We have redaction and
yes, Your Honor.
And the home study all done.
Yes, Your Honor.
Great. Mr. Shaw, concerns with Naya?
No, Your Honor, this is a long time, very stable place for her.
Okay. All right, very good. Next review hearing for
Lindsay Murray
Naya
on behalf
will
of the
be
children present and ready.
July the 10th at 9. Okay, Ms. Ainaway, tell me about these kiddos. They're with their grandmother?
Yes, they're in the kinship placement still with their grandmother. They're doing really well. They're all up to date on medical and dental. Ramon is doing really good. He's passing all of his classes. He actually got a job. He's still working in Migo's grocery store. He doesn't really know if he likes it or not, though. He told me he has mixed feelings about working. He's having trouble saving money. He said he's just spending it on fast food and stuff. And I did talk to him about getting his driver's license. He said that he doesn't want to drive right now because he's scared, but he does have his social security and his birth certificate. And then Ariana is doing really well. She's doing a lot better in school now. She's not hitting other kids. She's actually getting along with them, and she's listening to her teacher. Anthony's doing really well. His skin has been clearing up a lot. He does still take his hydrocodone, I believe is how it's pronounced. It's the allergy medication for his arms and his legs. They're still having visits with mom on Tuesdays and Fridays, and those are still going pretty well. So we haven't had any concerns so far.
Okay, Ramon is 16. Is he doing PAL?
I have started him on PAL. He took his life skills assessment this past week, and I have sent that over to his PAL worker to get his Saturday classes set up.
Okay, very good. Ms. Murray, any concerns with the children?
Judge, I don't have any at this time. My only concern is it's really hard to get a hold of that placement. Or I have had a problem. I've tried to, when I call, her voicemail wasn't set up or isn't set up. So I've kind of struggled with, making contact. But rather than that, I don't have any concerns with the kids themselves.
Okay, we're going to come back to that. Casa, concerns with the kids?
The only concern that I have right now is that both Anthony and Ariana do not have their glasses. I think those have been broken since December. But other than that, that's the only concern that we have right now.
Okay, Ms. Anwell, can we get new glasses for the young ones?
Yes, I've talked to Grandma about it, and they actually had reached out that Ariana's were ready to be picked up. So I believe she has picked those up, and if not, I can reach out to her again and let her know.
Okay, all of these children are in therapy with Diane Loera?
Yes, ma'am.
How's that going?
So far from what I've heard from grandmother and the kids, therapy is going well. I have tried multiple times to reach out to Diane and I've not heard back yet. So I'm still trying to get therapy notes and recommendations from her.
Okay, one of the reports, I think it was CASA, but I'm not sure, indicated that this grandmother is willing to keep the kids long-term, but thinks that their mother should get them back.
Yes, ma'am. Rosalina stated to me that she wants Zulema to have her rights back, but she is willing to take PMC. But she still wants Zulema to be in their lives and she wants the rights. But if we have the trial hearing or the jury trial hearing on May 15th, Grandma wants to wait to pursue adoption or PMC until that's over. But she's still willing to keep them.
Okay, so there's a de novo pending?
Yes, ma'am.
And that is set in May?
Yes, ma'am, May 15th.
Okay, well, my concern about grandmother's feeling there is and it doesn't help that Miss Murray tells me that she's hard to get a hold of. I remember the adversary hearing in this case. I remember the daughter testifying. I remember all of the concerns with this family. If this grandmother doesn't see the problem with Zulema, the plan is to just give these children right back to the mom as soon as CPS is over. We need to have some really hard conversations with this grandmother and these kiddos. They might not be in the right place.
Yes, ma'am. I will bring that up our next visit. And Lindsay, a really easy way to get a hold of her, how I do it, I normally text her in Spanish and she'll text me right back. And then I translate it.
So I've just been calling her from my work phone. I mean, my office line. And so it doesn't text, but I can start doing that.
Okay. Yeah, she normally will get back to me right away. And Judge will bring that up. I did speak with her a week ago at our visit, and that's where she had brought up that she was willing to take PMC, but she doesn't want to start any licensing until after the jury trial, is what she told me.
Is the mother working any services?
She has stated that she does not want to see Dr. Gatlin anymore because she does not have a mental illness, is what she said. And then she is willing to meet with me monthly, but not work any services at this time.
Let's see if the grandmother is willing to participate in any sort of therapy.
Okay.
Grandmother needs to get a much stronger understanding of why these kids came into care. I don't think that's ever been there since day one.
I can talk to her about that, Judge.
I certainly want to honor agreements that were made, if there were any agreements that were made, but I don't want to have round two of this as soon as CPS is out of this thing. That doesn't help anybody. So let's just make sure that we have maternal grandmother fully on board with what's happening here. Otherwise, we need to be looking for a new placement. The sooner the better.
Okay.
All right, anything else? Okay, we'll have another review hearing July the 10th at 10, and y'all let me know what happens on May 15th.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Miss Carroll, tell me how Cassius is doing.
At home, he's doing really good. He's having problems at school, but other than that, his behavior at home has been good.
Okay, he's in the 9th grade?
Yes.
All right, we'll get to the school issues here in a minute, but tell me medically, how's he doing? Does he have any sort of medical problems?
No. What are you saying? He's here, he's adding in. No, he doesn't have any medical problems.
Okay, and he's on lots of medications, is that right?
He's on 2.
Okay, and what does he take medicine for?
Let me look at it. One is for mood and the other one is for impulsivity.
Okay, what do you think about the medications? Do they help?
The mood,
Somewhere throughout the day, like it stops.
he's saying somewhat, and it stops during the day. I don't know if you can see him. He's crouched.
Oh, I have Cassius there too.
Yes.
Hello, Cassius.
Can you get a little closer, please?
I don't think I've ever seen you. Hello there. Nice to meet you. Glad you're here with us today. Tell me what you think about your medications.
Really, I think it's just like the start of the day when I take them, like in the evening or like before the sun sets, they just wear off.
Okay, but they work in the
They
earlier
work.
in the day.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe we need to talk to the doctor about different dosages or different times we can administer them, something like that. Okay. Have we set up a neuropsych for Cassius?
After he sees Dr. Nguyen on, I think it's April the 3rd and 4th. I have to look at my notes.
Okay, very good.
April the 3rd.
Okay, and Cassius is in therapy?
He starts his first session on the 16th, which is Thursday.
Okay, that's good. All right, tell me what's going on at school. Cassius is in the 9th. First of all, how are his grades? He's in the 9th grade. What is his grades like? Is he passing?
To be honest with you, it's really bad because I haven't been going to class. I've just been skipping class lately because the teachers, I think I need to be in a different school because people are like using guns and I'm scared to go to class and I've been getting kicked like in gym. Like it followed me everywhere in that school. So I don't think I should be in that school. So I mostly, what I do is I just go to the restroom and I stay in there until I go to the next period.
Okay, Ms. Reyes, tell me what you think about Cassius and how he's doing and the placement.
Yes, Your Honor. Cassius has been doing well, as Ms. Daphne has stated, in the home. His behaviors have been really well there, as far as Cassius and Daphne have both told me. We are a little concerned with the school. I have attempted to reach out to the school multiple times via email, phone calls. I've left several voicemails. I know Mary has also done the same, and we haven't been able to get any calls called back. And I've also reached out to the LPS worker to see if maybe she could go up to the school to talk to somebody in regards to some of the things Cassius has been talking about. When I've spoken to Cassius, he has stated about some of the kids maybe bullying him. I've talked to Cassius about some of the steps he's taken, whether he's spoken to teachers or principals, and he's told me he has. But again, I have not been able to make any contact with anybody from the school there, which has been a concern for me. As far as his grades, I do know he was failing biology and world geography, but I do know they were sending extra work home over the weekend for Cassius to work on to try to raise some of his grades, which I do know that Daphne has been assisting with that homework. So he has been completing that. This was probably about 2 weeks ago when she had this parent meeting with them. So I'm not exactly sure where those grades stand at this time, but those were the only 2 grades that I knew that he was failing at that time. Other than that, I mean, like I stated, I feel like Cassius has been doing really well with Daphne. He has mentioned he would like to have contact with BioMom. So we have kind of started the process and the steps to move forward with that, especially with him now attending counseling coming up soon. We're going to use that in order for us to prepare Cassius for those next coming steps.
Hudman?
I'm very happy that he is back with grandma like he wanted to be and like all of us wanted him to be. Very disappointed in the last placement situation, mostly because we were lied to about the type of placement he would be in, even though we had a big long meeting with all the folks in it. I'm not sure what all happened, and I don't One thing that I've not been able to find out is if there are current criminal charges pending from an incident that is alleged to have occurred in January. And I don't know the current status of that. I've not been able to find it out. I echo what Audrey says about the school's lack of getting back to us. It's been a problem. Definitely in favor of Cassius getting some contact with Biomom. I'm hoping that with the therapy appointment scheduled for Thursday, that they can start talking about, you know, maybe some family therapy type situations. I think that is a potentially a very good thing. But, you know, it probably needs to move a little bit more slowly, but we were able to track her down. So I'm very happy that he's doing good in Miss Daphne's home. I know that she just loves him so much, and I want to encourage Cassius to go to class. Nothing is going to be achieved hanging out in the bathroom. So I do hope that he goes to class, and we will work on the school side of it to see what we can get done.
Kasha?
Good morning, Your Honor. I think we pretty much are in agreement. Audrey and I have been in daily conversations about all of the updates. And like she mentioned, I too have reached out numerous times to the school unsuccessfully. And so that has been a great concern in trying to help him and advocate for him through the school. I did put in a request to communities in school to see if we could get him somebody there. They do have somebody assigned to the high school at Westfield while he is there. And so I have not heard back from them yet, but I will follow up to see that they did get that request. And hopefully we can get somebody to partner with him there. I'm very thankful for Miss Daphne and everything that she's doing. She's a great communicator in trying to identify his needs. And so I think hearing that he's doing well at home makes me feel a lot better. And so I think if we can get the school situation identified, then he will be in really great shape. And as far as him contacting, being in contact with his bio mom, I'm in favor of that as well. I think doing it gradually. And I think that's what Sarah and Audrey and I all agree on, that we want to do that in a way that's going to protect Cassius, but make sure that we do it just gradually, transitionally, making sure that he's identifying his feelings through all of that, through therapy, and then getting that recommendation when the time is right for that to happen, visits, and then eventually maybe something further.
Judge, I wanted to add something, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that Mary said that reminded me, and also that Miss Daphne has brought up to some of the caseworkers, thought about maybe looking into Big Brothers, Big Sisters, something like that. I think a positive male role model might be really good for him. I have no idea about, you know, what they've got down there, but I would certainly hope that an organization such as that would, you know, might be able to help out Cassius.
I agree. I think maybe we could get the department's education specialists involved, let that person know that we're having real troubles communicating with the school, and see if that person knows anything we can do to try to get an ARD set up as soon as we can to try to save the situation. If it's not savable and the school doesn't want to talk to us about what's happening with Cassius, then maybe we can find an alternative.
Yes, Your Honor, I would also like to mention, I know Daphne and Cassius have both went to talk to a different charter school. It's a lot smaller, and I believe they've taken the first step. So probably after spring break, they're hoping to hear something good from them.
Good. Perfectly fine with him going to another school if it makes it easier on him to get the education he needs, wherever he can get that. Let's do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Cassius, tell me what you like to do for fun.
I really don't know.
Okay, Grandma, what do you think he likes to do?
He likes to play basketball with the local kids. He what's that, YouTube videos. He likes to ride his riptide.
This is a ripstick.
Oh, ripstick. I'm sorry, ripstick. I said riptide. He thinks he can dance. And he thinks he's a great singer also.
I'm not a great
A rapper, I'm
I'm not a
sorry.
rapper either.
Well, I want to make sure he's getting to do some fun
I
stuff.
like gaming.
You like gaming? Is that what you said?
I want to be like, I want to make my own gaming system. So I would like be famous in the new generation.
Okay.
Okay, well, you know, you got to go to school.
Yes.
That's an awesome goal, but you got to go to school. Okay, I think we're all on the same page. Cassius, I'm very proud of you. It sounds like you're doing well at home. And I think maybe we can do some work with your school to make sure that you start doing well there too.
Okay.
Or find you a new one. Okay, very good. Anything else with respect to Cassius?
No, ma'am.
This might be the best report I've had on Cassius in a long time. So I'm very proud of you and I'm very happy with you, grandmother. Thank you so much for the work you're doing with this young man.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay,
Terry
next hearing on
Morrison
Cassius will
for
be July the
China.
10th.
Your Honor, I had given the link to placement and I really thought she was going to be on here, but I don't see her or her case manager at her placement. So that's it's okay. I really just wanted her to be here since her birthday's the 20th.
China's here.
There you are. Thank you.
She's here. I'm her case manager here at the placement. So just she's right here. Just give me 1 second. It's already on.
And Stephanie Anderson Casa.
Okay, tell me about China. We're in a new facility this last month. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay, how's she doing so far?
She's actually doing very well. We had a little bit of a bumpy start when she came to this new placement, but the placement actually has done very well working with her and has really done a good job building that bond and that relationship with her. And so China's really doing good in this placement.
She's shaking her head yes, so I think maybe she agrees. That's good. Hello, China. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Tired, but good.
Okay, tell me what you think about the place where you are.
In all honesty, I like it better than a lot of the other places I've been to. They help encourage me to do the right thing, and they've taught me a lot about becoming an adult. So.
And that's happening in a couple of weeks, right?
Yes.
Okay. It looks like you're in a self-paced program at school, so you're close to graduating, it looks like. Is that right?
Yes. I only have 3 more classes to do.
Okay. And then what?
And then I get to graduate, but I have to ask them because I think they want me to walk the stage, but I don't know if I'm gonna be here for that.
Okay. Do you want to walk the stage?
No, I really just want my diploma.
Okay.
And I really want her to stay so she can go to prom.
Yes, prom is next month on the 15th of April.
Okay. That sounds fun.
Yes.
All right. Tell me, are you feeling okay? Do you have any sort of medical problems?
No, I don't have any medical problems.
Good. You're on some medications?
Yes.
What do you think about your medications?
They help a lot.
Okay. They don't make you feel funny?
No.
They don't make you feel like zoned out or anything?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So you're okay with the dosages and all of that, and you want to continue to take those?
Yes.
Good. Okay. And it looks like maybe they had a medication switch for you recently, and that switch is going well?
Yes, it is.
Good. Okay. And you did your PAL classes, is that right?
Yes, I completed them last summer.
Okay. And are you still interested in culinary school, or do you have some other stuff that you?
No, culinary school.
Okay, good. Are you getting to cook where you are?
Not right now, just because of the type of facility that it is. Right now, it's an emergency shelter, but they're trying to, they're starting to move it into a group home facility. So it's like, we'll be able to cook.
Okay. And I think maybe we have some questions about your plans when you turn 18. That's happening on the 22nd, 9 days. What are you planning on after that?
I want to go to a SEAL placement, but I want to see if they can wait till after I go to prom.
You want to stay put until prom?
Yes,
At least, and at the very least, stay put until you graduate?
yes,
Okay. And then you want a SIL placement?
yes.
Okay. What are we doing to try to find China a SIL placement?
We are
She's
working.
identified one. She goes on a tour on the 24th. She picked out, it's either Next Step or Big Step. My ADHD cannot remember, is in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's a program where she either has to be in school or working full time, and she's excited about that.
Okay. Casa, concerns with China?
No, she's doing really well. I mean, she wants to go to prom, like she said, so she's really wanting to stay there. She wants to graduate, get her diploma, so that's good. And she has plans to go into the SIL program, so it's good that she has a tour coming up and stuff like that, so she can look at that. We talked about getting her birth certificate, her social security. That's something Heather has sent to placement, and so she should be good with that. So I think she's doing really well and has good plans for her right now set up so she can be successful.
Okay, this is one of the best reports I've had on you, China, and I'm very proud of you. Sounds like you're doing really well, and a pretty smile to go with it. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody here is going to want to see some of those prom pictures. Okay, do you mind sending some of those around?
Yes, I will.
Okay, very good. All right, anything else on China?
Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
All right. We will have a services review hearing for you July the 10th.
But they are very, very close. That poor placement. I could see them on here. They have been put through the ringer, but they have finally got their subsidies packet in. And I don't know that they've negotiated yet. Gloria can tell us, but they're finally at the finish line.
Okay, this is a permanency hearing in cause number 2. Okay, Mark is with the Garcia family, and it looks like the Garcia finally finished that licensing process in January. Is that right, Ms. Garcia?
Yes.
Okay, and tell us where you are as far as the subsidy.
We filled out the paperwork. Was it last week, Delphina?
Yes.
I can't remember because we've done so much different paperwork, and it was wrong the first time, and then it was something else the next time. So, and they were supposed to submit it.
Okay. All right. Tell me how Mark is doing.
The same. He has his ups and downs. He's a little bipolar. He had 2 really bad days. He kicked the teacher, punched her, ran away from her, and
okay, what did the school do about that?
There's nothing we can do, really. I mean, the only thing we can do so he won't hurt other kids, because when he gets mad, he just goes violent on whoever. So we put him in the high chair. So he's in the classroom in the high chair, but it's the only way to keep him to where he doesn't hurt anybody else. And then about the next 10 minutes or so, he'll start calming down. Okay, I can get off now. So we've been trying to talk to him like, it's okay to get mad. He's old enough now that he's understanding, because I tell him I get mad. You know, we all get mad. I said, but it's how you act when you get mad. You know, because he started this stuff when he was around 3. And so now that he's getting a little older, he's actually starting to get some empathy. Like he's getting a little bit of a conscience, which that's great, because now that he's going to turn 5 on the 23rd, we can actually take him to a doctor and they go ahead and medicate him, since we waited all this time trying to find somebody and nobody would do anything. He loves his play therapy. He loves the play therapy. And I know that Casa was trying to get music therapy going. They haven't started it yet, but I know that if he gets music therapy, that'll be his Achilles heel. We can probably tell him, if you don't settle down, you're not going to get music therapy for the day, and that'll just be great for him. It'll help a lot.
Physically, how's he doing? Any sort of medical problems? It looks like maybe some asthma and allergies.
His asthma has gone away so far. I mean, even with the dirt storms that we've had, we haven't had any. I haven't had to give him anything for asthma probably over a year now. Allergies, of course, the typical stuff, like when it's dusty, he'll start sneezing, or, you know, and I have Flonase for him, and he takes that fine. He's like a guru with medicine, because when he was little, he was loaded with everything. So he's fine with that. Every now and then we do give him melatonin when he's very wired, because he's very tired. And so we'll give him the melatonin, and he even says, I need to go to sleep. I want some gummies, because that's what they are, and they're strawberry. So he'll get one, and he's great. Within 30 minutes, he's out. So he's got a lot of anxiety, like and I think it's just I think he has the ADHD. That's why he's so wired all the time, because he just doesn't sit still. I'm thinking Casa, since they go to the daycare to talk to the teachers and stuff, they probably told him how he is about, he just cannot sit still. He'll get up in the middle of class. They're doing something, he gets up and walks around. like there's nothing else to do but walk around and see what he can figure out.
Ms. Mata, when do we get to have an ADHD evaluation?
Well, we can start working on that now.
Let's do it. Okay, and he needs glasses?
Yes, he does need glasses, but because he's so destructive, I'm afraid to get him right now. I buy him books because I was trying to see if that would kind of calm him down. And every book, as a matter of fact, on the trip that we just took, I bought him a brand new book with little slots to open so he could read the little letters and stuff. He tore that up in 5 minutes. Yeah, so I'm afraid to get him the glasses, because the glasses that Medicaid approves is they're not the real good undestructible glasses. I'm gonna have to pay for the other ones cash, because Medicaid doesn't cover those kind of glasses.
Okay,
Ms. Gloria's having to do, oh, sorry, Judge. She's having to do a lot of testing that is out of pocket for her on the ADHD and on the FAS, just because the wait lists are so long. And so I think if we can get them adopted and get the subsidy approved, that'll give her a little bit of relief, but it's been a struggle for Gloria.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Garcia, for all you're doing for little Mark. Casa, additional concerns?
I would just go back to visiting Mark at the daycare. I think they've done a wonderful job of working with him with his behavior defiance or whatever. They've just been wonderful. And he's been such a joy to work with at daycare one-on-one. He does really, really well because he's playing and he's having fun and we've interacted. So I haven't seen the side of him where he gets upset. But I think Gloria's done a wonderful job with him. And I agree, the glasses, if there's an extra fund that could pay the difference in those glasses, I think it would be really worthwhile considering his age and his activity level. So we would just reiterate some of the things that have already been said.
And really just finally just kind of getting the negotiations figured out for the subsidy paperwork is the last thing, I think.
Okay. Ms. Garcia, do you have an attorney for your adoption?
Yes, it's the Olivas law firm.
Okay.
And one thing that kind of came up and I didn't realize was the law, but I just want to say it, Judge, so maybe you can reiterate it for Gloria, because she is concerned about an FAS diagnosis after he turns 5 and gets a little bit older. And so I did find in the administrative code that she could renegotiate that subsidy if he is found to have another significant diagnosis that would bump him up to the other level of subsidy. So I realize I'm not her attorney on that, but I did do that research for her and clarified that for her because she was really worried about that.
Yeah, that's awesome, especially with the wait list that we have on those evaluations. Certainly don't want that holding up an adoption, but also want caregivers to be able to get the assistance they need in the future to make sure that we don't have another re-removal. Yeah. So that's great, great news. Okay, anything else for Mark?
No,
okay. We'll have another review hearing July the 10th at 10 if we need one, but hopefully we will have an adopted little one by then.
They're looking at April for the adoption to be final, about April 20th or so. So let's cross it around.
I love it. Okay, Ms. Brown, tell me how the kiddos are doing.
They're doing wonderful. Nothing new, really. Same. They're both still in gymnastics, loving that. Both doing great at school. Neve's getting ready for STAR coming up towards the end of the school year. STAR testing. And that's it. No health concerns. No, we're on track with all of our appointments. And we have an adoption date. Yay.
Hey, Mr. Shaw, concerns with these kiddos?
No, Your Honor, I think we're set for the 29th.
Casa, concerns with these kids?
No concerns, Judge. I know we're very excited for that adoption to occur at the end of the month.
Me too. Brown, I think it's fantastic. I think it's in front of me. I think that's what Ms. Dickerson told me.
Yeah.
So that's good news. Can't wait to get that done for you.
Thanks.
All right. Anything else on these kiddos?
No, Judge, I think my office has already signed off on an order to dismiss in anticipation of this coming up. So we're hopeful and ready for this, or not an order, but a motion with a proposed order. And we're excited about it.
Me too. And I think Miss Brown, you can tell by the smile on that face that she's excited for it too.
Yes.
Okay, if for any reason we need another hearing, it'll be July the 10th at 10, but I don't think we'll need that. Ms. Lee, tell me about Ebony. We're all right. Thank you. In the same foster home since September?
Yes, she is with Miss Kendall Blake's foster home. She's been there since September. She is about to be moved tomorrow to RTC at her request. Abby continues to have some difficulties with her pseudo seizures. She's in the 10th grade and she's having problems fitting in. And she has a history of doing bizarre things to get attention and quickly become angry when someone questions and makes fun of the things that she's doing. When she gets angry, she will lose control and become very challenging to manage due to her inability to maintain or manage her behavior. She reaches out to intense emotional state. And so with Abby being diagnosed with ODD, major depressive disorder, and bipolar with psychosis, it's just been very challenging to maintain. And with the kids at school, she's in the 10th grade, with the kids at school picking on her, her anxiety flares up and she acts out, which causes her to seize. But with her current placement, Miss Kendall, she had everything set up with school. Safety plans were in effect, so they knew what to do whenever Abby were to seize, which was a good thing. And I'm sure with the new placement starting tomorrow, we will have everything in the same direction, have everything set up so that we can be prepared whenever she does have a seizure.
She's passing?
She is not passing all of her classes. When I talked to Abby about that, she said it's just hard to concentrate with her feeling like she doesn't fit in with the kids there. She is in, they recently had an ARD meeting, and the main objective at the ARD meeting was to identify a list of individuals within the school who can help support Abby and be that supporter in her academic performances.
Okay, medical concerns with Abby. Do we have any medical issues other than the seizures?
Other than the seizures, she was put on a lot of meds for her high blood pressure and everything, but the doctor went ahead and took her off of the high blood pressure medicines, which is great. She's down to 3 medicines now, which it seems to work. I speak with her placement quite frequently, and they're happy with the medication. I speak with her placement quite frequently, and they're happy with the medications that she's on. She is on Seroquel, Lexapro, and Intentive.
Ms. Khan?
One thing that I had heard indicated in past talking about things that Abby needs is just that follow-up psychological evaluation. I didn't know if that had been done yet or not.
No, it has not. No, actually, she did receive a psych eval after she was discharged from her previous hospitalization stay. And I have to send that out. I don't have it in front of me.
Casa?
Abby is, of course, she did mention all of the issues she has at school. And so we are going to be contacting school to make sure her education plan is adjusted to meet her needs. We're also going to be with the medication. We have a long list of medications she's on. So I contacted the placement for an updated list of the medications because it changes every time she's hospitalized. And so we're going to make sure that we have an up-to-date medication list for her. When I spoke to Abby, she was very bright and cheerful. She stated that she's interested in adoption, and she's also interested in being in contact with her family, especially her sisters, especially Mariah. So in CFE meetings, we're going to be working to make that happen. She also stated she'd like to talk to her mother, but she was very much aware that that might cause issues with her. And so what we're planning on doing is having the family write letters and working with St. Francis of reviewing those letters beforehand with the therapist to make sure they're appropriate and giving to Abby and establishing communication that way. When I spoke with Abby, I asked more about her interests in her future, and she said that she was not enjoying traditional therapy at all. She didn't feel it helped her. And she expressed that she wants to study marine biology when she goes into college because she's in love with stingrays. And so I'm going to be contacting around there some additional therapy options such as equine therapy, going to the aquarium and working with stingrays, as well as any type of art and music therapy because she's an artist too and she loves K-pop music. So I think kind of bringing in some therapeutic sessions that are more adapted to her interest might bring out a more beneficial, therapies towards her mental conditions that she does have.
I like that idea. That's great. Okay, Ms. Lee, do we know what RTC we're going to?
She is Missouri City, which is about 45 minutes from her placement that she's in right now.
Okay, let's make sure they have the right contact list with Ms. Khan and Casa on that. And
yes,
I hope that this is a good move for her. And you said that she wants this.
Yeah, that's what Effie, I love her dearly. At first, she wanted Miss Kendall to adopt her. And then Miss Kendall made her mad. So she said, I just want to move. I want to move. I got to get out of here. So that's what she wanted. So we tried to get what she wanted, made it happen.
Okay, I think I read in the report that she's doing PAL.
She actually was about to start PAL, but with her hospital stay or psych hospital stay and her wanting to be moved, she is going to start it once she gets into this new placement.
Okay. Just make sure we get that set up. And I love the idea of the different kinds of therapy for her. I think maybe that could calm her down a little bit and give her some confidence. I think that would go a long way.
Yeah.
For Miss Evie. Mm-hmm. Okay, anything else?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll have another review. Tell me how Josiah is doing with Miss Morris.
He's doing really good. Every time I see him, he's very funny. He's energetic, he's happy, he loves to play outside, he really loves Paw Patrol. Every time I see him, he tells me he's in the 4th grade, but he is in pre-K. He's developmentally on target. He writes his own name. He knows all his letters. He knows how to count. He's up to date on his medical and his dental. He's not in any therapies. He's not taking any medications. He sleeps well. When I see him, his grandma's always cooking because it's in the afternoon and he's right there in the kitchen waiting for her. So he's eating everything. He's doing really good.
Very good. Ms. Khan, any concerns with Josiah?
No concerns, Judge. He appears to be doing really well.
Okay, got an email from Ms. Carter indicating that Ms. Morris is still waiting on her hearing to overturn something in her past to allow her to adopt. I think the plan is to continue to wait on that hearing, and depending on how that goes, either do an adoption or transfer PMC.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right, Judge. And I've spoken with Ms. Carter, and that is the intent. They would like to get that overturned and be able to go the direction of adoption. But if not, depending on how those hearings turn out, we will have to decide.
Okay. Anything else on Josiah? Okay, Kristen,
no, ma'am.
Relative. Okay, we'll have another review hearing.
Yes, she is placed with her maternal aunt here in Lubbock, or here in Littlefield, I believe. And she's doing very, very well overall. There have had a few incidents of just her saying stuff to her caregivers when she's upset, but she seems to be very redirected easily when that happens. The placement is in the process of getting licensed through St. Francis. They are discussing adoption. It just depends. They just want to continue to get used to one another and see how that goes. But they are, in that area of wanting to adopt.
Okay, and she has been with them since February 17th.
Yes.
So pretty new placement, but fairly okay so far.
Yes.
Okay. Any sort of medical issues with Kristen?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And this relative has an approved home study?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about medications with Kristen. What is she on medications?
Yes, she is.
Lots of medications. Do we have any concerns with them?
No, we do not, Your Honor.
Okay.
They seem to be working well for her.
Okay. Do we have some therapy set up for Kristen and this family?
Yes, they had just recently started therapy. I believe they've only had 1 or 2 sessions.
Okay, what kind of therapy?
Individual therapy, and then they'll bring in for family therapy as needed.
Okay, do we know what kind of therapy it is? Hopefully, please tell me trauma focused.
Yes, Your Honor. As far as I know, it is trauma focused.
Okay, very good. She's in the 8th grade?
Yes,
Okay.
she seems to be doing well there so far with no major issues either.
Okay, she's delayed in school?
Yes.
What are we doing to try to catch up?
She, of course, does receive special education services in school. And the family is just working with her to get her back on target for school.
Okay. Are we seeing any of the behaviors in this home that we saw in the previous placement?
Not that I'm aware of, no major behavior issues. The biggest issue seems to be like she's made comments to the caregivers when she's upset about how she wants to kill them or things like that, and it is redirected rather very quickly.
Okay, it doesn't rattle the placement when she says
No,
things like that?
it doesn't.
Good.
It does a little bit, and they just discuss it. Well, how would you feel if I told you that? It's like that'd make me extremely upset, and I'd be sad and cried. And so when they kind of turn it around like that, she seems to understand it a little bit better.
Okay, is there anything fun for Kristen to do at Cooper or at home? What
Well,
does
she likes doing arts and crafts and things like that, and just being real active, playing outside, and the family stays pretty busy as well.
Okay. Ms. Wimberly, concerns with Kristen?
No concerns, Judge. Really excited that she's in this placement, hoping that it will continue to go well. There was a large meeting with the placement and her husband prior to placement, just to make sure that she was aware, that they were aware of all of the issues that Kristen has had and kind of the history of the behaviors and things. So they were well prepared for her behaviors coming in. I think there was a little bit of trouble trying to get her enrolled in school, but Joanna was able to go with them and meet with Cooper, and she can tell you about that and help them get her enrolled. But placement has done extremely well, taking on the behaviors and making sure that everything is lined up for her. So just really excited and hope this placement keeps working out for her. So
I like it. Ms. Belford, concerns with Kristen that we haven't talked about?
I just spoke with the aunt yesterday and Kristen had a really good week. I think that first week was a little bit of a struggle, her going back to maybe some of those prior behaviors, but she was easily got back on track. She's got a goal of wanting to go to the 8th grade banquet and buy a new dress. So the placement is really using that banquet as motivation for her, because that's really important to Kristen. Kristen is very much a girly girl. So she really likes makeup and doing her hair and dressing up in pretty dresses and things like that. We're still working on what's appropriate dress and what's not appropriate dress. But, I think Kristen really wants to do well and is, gets back on track pretty easily. After that first kind of tough week, I went over to the house and met with Jennifer McGowan as her behavioral therapist, who was also Kristen's therapist when she was in Lubbock previously. And they have a really positive relationship. So we sat at the table with maternal aunt, the uncle, the therapist, myself, and then Kristen. And so we had a really good discussion. So I'm glad to hear that this week has been a really good week. So I think that hopefully there are some good things to come. We did have a little bit of trouble enrolling, but I met Brittany and Kristen over there and we were able to get that done. And then this past week on the 7th, we had her ARD hearing with the school, which was all very positive. So She has a big support group around her at school. She's in the life skills program, and she will be going to Lubbock High in the fall. So she's currently on track. And so they're just going to keep her moving forward.
I love it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It's really, really great.
Great report. Okay, Kyler is in the same group home that he's been in almost a year. Tell me about Kyler. How's he doing?
He's doing very well in this group home overall. He's has some, behaviors, but he is easily redirected overall. He likes Godzilla and King Kong and playing video games. We did have a possible placement for him with his maternal grandmother, but due to some previous APS history, it was decided that we were no longer going to look into that placement because the allegations were RTB'd and they seemed pretty serious after it was staffed up.
Okay, what is the plan for Kyler?
At this point, it remains unrelated adoption, and so he is being recruited for.
Okay. All right. Well, I think the report indicated we still got some behavior with Kyler, some defiance and all of that, but relatively doing okay.
Yes, and he's being able to be redirected easier as well.
Okay. Any medical issues with Kyler?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Wimberly, concerns with Kyler?
No concerns with Kyler. Just, hoping to find a placement for him soon. It was briefly considered that the Chumleys consider taking both children, but we kind of nipped that in the bud and didn't think that would be appropriate. So hoping we can find somebody else for Kyler soon. He has done, relatively well in this placement over a long period of time. And he, I think, in my opinion, has made the most progress. So just kind of hoping that continues and just really that we can find him a much less restrictive placement soon.
Right. Okay, Casa, anything to add with respect to Kyler?
No, Casa traveled on February 18th and did an in-person meet with Kyler. He's really doing well in his home. He enjoys it. He enjoys going to school and does well in school. And again, he just reinforced to Casa his, want and desire for a family to call home. So, that's still, I think, all of our shared concern is trying to find that permanent placement for Kyler, because he really is a sweet boy. So, and I think I put in our court report, but on the adoption websites, his picture is very outdated. So it might be a good idea to update his picture on the websites with something that more reflects his really cute face.
Let's do it. New pictures.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, I will say that this is one of the better reports your case that I've had in a while. So thank you all for your work with these two kiddos. Craig couldn't be here another review hearing. Very pleased with this placement. Michael's still placed with an aunt and uncle.
Yes, Your Honor, he is, and placement is here as well. Carlos Alamon.
Okay, tell me how Michael is doing.
He's been doing well in his placement, continuing to grow and develop. He is crawling like a champ, and he is everywhere. He is fast too. He's pulling up really well. He's not quite walking yet. He did have medical appointments in January for follow-up with cardiologist and pediatric surgeon. Both say he's doing well, just going to continue to monitor. So there are no other medical issues currently. Eating well, sleeping well, just doing well overall, growing like a champ. Placement is still working on getting licensed. They can talk a little bit more as to where they're at on that. There is still a pending appeal through the 7th Circuit in Amarillo.
Okay, Mr. Alamon, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have anything to add to that report?
Everything's been going pretty well. We had a minor setback in December. My wife was attacked by a pit bull, so we kind of got set back a little while. She's starting back at work last week. So, but other than that, everything's been going pretty well.
Okay.
He's growing really fast. He eats really good. He's happy and smart.
Does he need anything?
So.
Okay, good. All All right, and tell me where you are with your licensing process.
I believe we have a few more steps to take, classes to do. And
No,
I
we're actually done with all the classes and stuff. The last step is the fire inspection and health inspection, which we had scheduled for March 1st, but their kids got sick, so they had to reschedule us.
Okay, what agency are you with?
St. Francis.
Say again?
St. Francis.
Okay. Okay, very good. Ms. Pinger, do we know the status of the appeal?
I don't have an update. I'm pulling that up right now to see if anything has changed. I will let you know. I'll update you when I get that pulled up.
Okay, we had this final hearing in October, so is Ms. Morganson still here? No, okay. All right, it's okay. I think it's probably fairly young in the appellate process. Okay, anything else on Michael?
No, Your Honor, I think we've covered everything.
Okay, I will set another review hearing for Ms. Lee. Tell me about Layla. We're still with the Garza family?
Layla is still with the Garza family. She is just a pretty pink princess. Her favorite color is pink, and every time I see her, she has on pink. Her foster mom actually just brought in a new infant, and foster mom states that since the baby has been placed there, Layla has been a big help. Layla, she lets her know whenever it's time to feed the baby. She helps her with cooking and cleaning after the baby. So she is just a big girl.
Okay, healthy little one. Do we have any medical problems?
No medical problems. She is healthy. She's up to date with all of her medical appointments. There are no medical concerns. She is still active. No, she was taken out of gymnastics because she didn't want to be with the little kids. She would cry because she wanted to be with the older kids, flipping instead of working on balancing on everything. So she is no longer in gymnastics, but she is very interactive with her siblings, and she's just enjoying life right now.
Okay, good. Is she on target? Do we have any concerns with delays or anything?
No, ma'am.
Good. Sounds like maybe she's a little ahead.
Yes, yes.
Okay, Ms. Weldy, concerns with Layla?
Your Honor, I don't have any active concerns. I did speak with her foster mom yesterday, and she mentioned that Layla has had a lot of viruses this semester, last 6 months or so. She's currently, I guess, has an earache and is going to the doctor today for that. But she doesn't have any active concerns outside of like smaller things like that.
Okay, and tell me where we are in this adoption.
With the adoption, I have sent out the paperwork for the redaction and the HESIG. I have not received anything back. I spoke with the people in charge of the redaction, and I was told that they hired more people because they were super behind. I am just waiting daily to get any type of feedback, any type of information on where we are. I have submitted the paperwork for the redaction twice now, and I still have not received anything back.
Okay.
Judge, just to be clear, we do have an order for expedited redaction on that.
Okay. I had a feeling those would stop working very well.
Yeah.
We have Joseph. All right, we'll have another review hearing on Layla, July 10th at 11. Okay, Mr. Cogdale, tell me about Joseph. Where is he currently placed?
He had a placement change at the end of January 27th. He's currently at Vision Quest in Hale Center. So he is back in region. He was initially enrolled in school at Hale Center. Since then, they have withdrawn him from there and enrolled him due to the number of credits he has. He is in a GED program right now, so that hopefully he can still finish on time. He is current on medical, dental, and CANS assessments, not currently taking any medications. The last I had heard from placement, they were setting up the initial counseling sessions. I know in the past, Joseph has refused counseling since he does not feel like he needs it. And I am working with his PAL worker, trying to get him scheduled for PAL classes now that he is back in region.
Okay, we're in the 11th grade.
Yeah, I was in the 11th grade until I did my GED.
They were trying to get him into credit recovery. They had him classified that way due to age. I believe he has between 6 and 9 credits. We have reached out to Pauline Taylor about that. Health Center was not able to get him into a credit recovery due to how far behind he is.
And Judge, I don't know if you saw it. It came in while we've been on the docket. Sarah Hudman emailed. She has a conflict. She's also very concerned about the lack of credits and trying to figure out some way of doing a credit recovery program because of age and where we are.
Okay. Maybe we can get Ms. Taylor to set him up with a program in Lubbock. If he's in Health Center, it's not that much further to Lubbock than it is Plainview. We've got all kinds of credit recovery in charter schools and that sort of thing available in Lubbock. Right?
Yes, Your Honor. We can look into that as opposed to the GED program.
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Shaw, I'm gonna let you talk. Just a second, Mr. Olson. Mr. Shaw.
Judge, I'm glad we're back in a placement where we can start working with him, and hopefully he can stay and complete his high school. That would be great. But I'm glad he's back into placement.
Okay, Joseph, first of all, tell me how you're doing in the placement. What do you think about it?
Well, I had a rough start because I always do usually, but it's gotten better because these people have met everything I needed.
Okay.
I got a full-time job now. I got my GED program, and I'm doing very good in the program because we have a lot of practice tests and stuff on it, and I'm passing everything. And then I got a teacher who sits with me all day, so I got more one-on-one as opposed to them just slapping paper in front of me and making me do it. So I got more learning utensils than what I've had in the past, and I'm more willing to do it, and I feel more excited to get up every morning and go there because I know I got people helping me.
Okay, where are you working? All right, do you feel okay? Do you have any medical problems at all?
No.
Okay, tell me about your medications. Are you on medications?
No.
Okay. Are you willing to do therapy?
I don't, that's why I'm not going to refuse it, but he's going to get, the therapist is getting a dry conversation because what I see, I didn't say everything I've had to say about my life. I've been in care for over 43 years, this time at least. So there's really not much to talk about unless I go tell them about my day.
Okay. Well, you're 17 years old, and as far as I'm concerned, you can make the decisions about your education. I really would like for you to consider a credit recovery program because it's going to give you more opportunities than a GED, but it's your decision. Okay.
But it's just the thing of transport and stuff. I don't know how that works.
That's not your job. That is St. Francis's job to figure out how to get you there, and you don't need to be worried about that. That's what Mr. Cogdill's there for. But I think, like I said, if you graduate, you will have a lot more opportunities to get better jobs and to do things that will give you more opportunities in life. And it may be a trade school, it may be a college, a junior college, a firefighter program. Whatever you're interested in is fine with me, but I think we at least need to give it a shot. Are you willing to consider it?
It's the thing is that would take, I'm over 20 credits behind. It's going to take longer. and I have a couple months till I'm 17. I mean, till I'm 18, and I still don't. I'm not close to my education needs. I don't have any physical documents that I need. I'm so far behind, and I have this much time until I age out of care.
Okay, well, let's get Ms. Taylor involved and just see what's out there and see what's available. And if it works, great. If not, GED program will be the next best option. Okay? Okay, Joseph, tell me what you like to do for fun.
Well, I like working, you know. I like doing something that keeps me occupied. Now, I like education has been more of like a necessity for me. Actually, I'm excited to do that. I enjoy going up there every day. It helps me. It's like a place to escape and be on my own. I like playing sports, watching sports. Yeah.
You get to play?
No, because we don't have sports at our school, but like I've been big on sports for a long time. So, I used to play with like kids and stuff.
What's your favorite sport?
MMA.
Okay. All right. Do you need anything?
No.
Okay. I think the last time we were here, we talked about maybe you might be interested in welding or mechanics or something like that.
Yeah, I think I was talking about that. I don't know.
Are you still interested in those things?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. Is there anything else we can do for you, Joseph?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have your driver's license?
No, ma'am.
Do you want one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's get him set up with driver's education.
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to add also, Joseph has expressed an interest in this SEAL program.
Okay. I like that idea. Okay. Anything else on Joseph? Oh, he's raising their hand. So yes.
Oh, about the driver thing, I have somebody here who's trying to get me in the program.
Good.
Can I bring him in here?
What's that?
Can I bring the guy in here?
Sure.
Oh. Yeah, I thought that. I think it was here. There's somebody to talk about the subject. Hey, thank you.
Joseph is trying to get somebody in there with him to talk to us about his progress in getting set up with driver's education. But do you have, and we've gone through pretty much the whole hearing by now, but Ms. Hudman, do you have anything additional concerns regarding Joseph? You're on mute.
Technical difficulties, mostly operator error, and a chihuahua who's pissed off. I sent an email about 45 minutes ago regarding this. Y'all probably already gone over it. My biggest concerns were credit recovery. Libby, for credit recovery so that we can get him close to his because he's a sophomore instead of a junior or a senior. And so hopefully he can work on that, and maybe even this summer, even though he wants to do schoolwork in the summer, I think it would go a long way to help him. And my other recommendation is that I think that it would benefit him to be in therapy as much as humanly possible between now and whenever, before he ages out, to work on, impulse control and anger management, because he's a great kid, great heart, and we all want to see him succeed.
Yes, Joseph and I had a discussion about wanting to do, about doing credit recovery rather than the GED program. So he knows my thoughts on it.
And I echo your thoughts completely.
Okay.
Not in all things.
By the way, don't be yelling at your dog. She's very sweet. Okay. We got somebody in the box with Joseph. Now, can you unmute yourself? Okay.
Hi.
Hi. I think he went to get you to talk to me about what we're doing to help him with driver's ed.
Yes. So right now we're doing GED, and then we are looking at driver's ed. We're looking at starting that within like the next month or two for Joseph and the other kids that are able to.
Okay, very good. Do you have anything else to report about Joseph? Any issues or anything that he needs?
No, he's been doing pretty good here, so.
Okay, very good. Joseph, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I've been doing good actually, because I like the place, because it helped me. And there's some more interest into wanting to help people.
I love it.
Yeah, because like they done told me a lot of stuff and then they actually did it. Like, that's a good thing.
A great thing. We like it. Okay, Joseph, I'm going to have another hearing for you July the 10th at 11. All right, anything else? Okay,
No.
Ms. Burleson, tell me about Travion. How is he doing? Thank you.
He's actually doing good. He's really a joy to our family. We're really happy that he's here. He's become, the little baby or whatever. He likes to help clean and he likes to eat. Of course, he eats all the time and he helps us clean his room and stuff like that. So he's really like progressing like really well right now. He's in daycare. So he's talking a whole lot more. He's saying sentences. He's loving on his sister and stuff like that. So he's really been a great joy to our family.
Okay, that's very good. Ms. Gonzalez, any concerns with this little boy?
No, ma'am, no concerns.
Okay, and I think Ms. Burleson, your attorney, Ms. Emeline?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, she indicated that we're going to have an adoption pretty soon. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay, very good. Anything else for Travion?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Burleson, for what you're doing for him. It's a very good thing.
Thank you. Thank you all so much.
Okay, if we need one, we'll have another review hearing July the 10th at 11, but I think we'll probably have an adoption before then.
Yes, ma'am.
Look forward to it. All right.
We'll be adjourned. Thank you.
Report indicates that Maricela is on run, but we actually think she may be living with a grandmother.
Yes, ma'am. I was able to see her last week. She is back with grandma.
Okay. How is she doing?
She is doing good. We spoke about a couple of things. I am working on getting her back into the doctor to get caught up on all her medical and dental. I was able to get her birth certificate. We're working on getting her social security card. She wants to enroll back in school, so we're working on that as well.
Okay, are we working on a home study for the grandmother?
There was one done on grandma. She did not pass due to a positive drug screen and her age. Maricela does not want to come back and care though.
Okay, so basically Maricela's in an unauthorized placement.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, but we think she's doing okay?
From when I saw her, yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Gill?
Sorry, Judge. The screen just flipped. I got distracted. I did not know she was back with the grandmother until I saw the report, which I don't know that Miss White knew that either until she made the report. I was a little surprised because she was doing very well. Our last permanency hearing was very positive. I think she had A's in classes like chemistry and very difficult classes. She was doing great, and this was kind of a surprise, and it was kind of sudden, obviously, but I don't have any concerns about her right now. I haven't spoken to her, so if you, Miss White, if you'd send me the grandmother's phone number and I'll get in touch with her.
Yes, ma'am, I can do that.
Okay, do we know why she ran?
From our conversation, she just didn't like where she was at and all the rules.
When did she run?
When I took over, she was on the run. She came back December 27th, ran again. We picked her up January 21st and she ran again.
Yeah, do we know how long she's been with her grandmother?
She got back the end of February. I did not find out until last week.
Okay. Do we know where she went when she was on run? Did anything concerning happen to her when she was on run that we may need to get some therapy?
She says there wasn't. She did go to the Dallas area, so she was there for a while.
I know at one point she was staying in a hotel, and all this was happening during a time when there were changes in caseworkers. We had several changes, which kind of delayed. Maricela was really wanting to get into a foster home, was what she wanted. They weren't able to find one. Caseworkers changed, but yeah, my understanding was that she had been staying at a hotel with her people, was what she said, which were some people apparently she had just met at that hotel. So I don't know what could have happened during that time, but considering it was from December to the end of February, I mean, there could be some things that would be cause for concern.
She did tell me that she was not trafficked, so I did ask that question.
Well, let's get some therapy set up and just dig into that a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
If she's willing to do that.
Okay, I can certainly check on that.
She also did, one of the SIs there was able to go out and see her at her friend's apartment, and they did not have any concerns when they were there. She did refuse to speak to us for the rest of the time that she remained there before she came to grandmother's. So we did have, for a brief moment, some idea of who she was living with. She was just refusing to cooperate with us. So
Okay.
while she was there with that friend, they didn't have any concerns.
Okay, any medical issues? Healthy?
She's pretty healthy, and I think she just got on, so.
No, ma'am, I've been here. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, Maricela, are you feeling okay?
Yes, ma'am, I feel fine.
Okay, and you're still living with your grandmother?
Yes, ma'am, I'm living with my grandma.
Okay, it's an unauthorized placement, but this court's not gonna do anything about you living there as long as you're safe and happy and healthy.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Actually, it was something that I had heard. It was something about being trafficked. When I was there, I did get a hold of them. I was still in contact with Shanika, but I didn't have a caseworker at the time, so I didn't really know who to get a hold of. But I wasn't refusing like to cooperate with y'all. I was just like I didn't know really what to do, who to call. So but I did talk to David Reyes. He was the special investigator. He really helped me a lot. He talked to me like when I didn't know what doctor to go to, you know, like what to do, like if I was sick or something, but he helped me. And yeah, but I was perfectly fine in Dallas. I was living with a friend and I lived there for like 3 months. It was her aunt's place, but we were staying there, like the bills were always paid for. But yeah, I was perfectly fine. It was nothing really wrong. That's why I was so like open to like seeing the special investigator come to my house. So but yeah, and then I just moved to my grandma's house because my grandma wanted me to come home. I guess she was worried for me being in Dallas and being so far. So yes, ma'am.
Okay, Maricela, tell me what you're doing to try to get back in school.
Right now I'm just waiting on I guess just more word. Like, does my grandma take me? Like, do I go by myself? I just don't know.
You don't have to do any of this by yourself. Your workers
Okay.
and they're going to come help you, and they will take you and your grandmother up to the school to try to get you enrolled. We just don't want you to get behind.
Yes, ma'am. And I want to continue to go to school.
Okay, you're a very bright young lady. I've talked to you before. I hope you
Yes.
remember that. So I just want to make sure you stay on track, especially with school.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's get with grandma and get Maricela back in school as soon as possible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Maricela, do you need anything?
No, I have everything that I need.
Okay. All right, very good. Is there anything else that we need to take up from Maricela?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll have another review hearing July the 10th at 11.